Hello, today I am making a tutorial on how to use Roblox Studio effectively, how to find it and open it, how it works, and all the tools that it gives you to create stuff on Roblox. Now, if you've had trouble opening Roblox Studio, it's actually very simple. If you've downloaded the game Roblox, and Roblox Studio comes with it, and the way you can find it is first go to Start menu, click on Start menu, type in the search bar Roblox Studio, and then it should come up right there. So click on that, and then after you click on that, this is what you should get popping up right here, Roblox Studio. Now, if you want to make a new place to build on like this right here, let's close this first, and let me show you how to do it. You go on the top left, and there should be a icon of a white piece of paper right there. So just click on that, and here you go, a new place for you to edit and build on and create your world or whatever you want to create on this game. And I hope that you have some knowledge in computers, like how to copy and paste using the hotkeys, but I'll show you how to do that anyhow if you're completely new to that kind of stuff. Now, there are certain parts to Roblox Studio. When you first open it up for the first time, you're probably not going to see this down here, but we won't need that for now. Anyhow, so there's certain parts to Roblox Studio. Here, where my mouse is right now, is the Explorer, and the Explorer shows you everything that's in your game. Right here is the workspace, and if you open that, everything inside of there is inside the workspace, which is pretty much everything you can see and touch and interact with. You can put stuff that you can't see and you can't touch and you can't interact with in the workspace, but generally most of the stuff in here is what you're going to be playing with in the game. The players is where all your information is when you enter the game for your character and your player. Hold on. The lighting is pretty much the sky, and the lights and all that kind of stuff. Like you see over here where it says time of day, you can change that. You see it's nighttime right now. Let's keep it at 14, which is daylight. And right over here, the starter GUI. These are all the GUIs you have when you spawn in the game. Same goes with the starter pack. These are all the tools you have, guns, weapons, etc. when you spawn. Debris, this is quite useful later on for more complicated stuff. And the soundscape, I'm not really sure of because I don't really use it. Anyhow, below the Explorer is the properties, and the properties pretty much just what its name says, properties. So if whatever you have selected, if you select the workspace, it shows you the properties of that, and it's quite helpful, probably one of the most helpful things in the game when you're using Roblox Studio. So up here, up top, right over here, you have File, Edit, View, Insert, Format, Tools, Window, and Help. And these are very essential when you use Roblox Studio. And Insert lets you insert whatever you want that you can use for whatever you're making. Edit is like just pretty much what it says, edit. View, it gives you options to view different panels. Like if I click Explorer, and then it shows my Explorer. So if I were to close Explorer by accident and I want it back, I would go to View, Explorer, and then it comes back. So let's see what else. Right here is terrain generation. It's a plug-in Roblox main. It's very useful. You can generate terrains on it. So if I were to press generate right here, it will make a big terrain right there. It would generate it. But I don't want to do that for this tutorial, so let's close that. Now here are all the rotation buttons. I don't really use it, but it could be helpful for you. Camera rotations. And these are all probably the three most important tools: the drag, move on axis, and resize. Right over here, you can change the surface of a brick. You can make it smooth, glue, weld, connectors, whatever. Here's a paint bucket tool, eyedropper for bricks. And these are more advanced resize and movement tools right here. Probably one of the most important things the toolbox, which is right here. Click on that, and you can see the models you've made and free models. So if you go to search models, here are all the free models that you can find. You can insert maybe a rocket launcher, and okay, let's find this. Where did that rocket launcher go? There he is. Alright, you gotta zoom in on this guy. He's pretty small. So there you go. A rocket launcher. So if you want the player to use this, you click and drag it into the starter pack, and you see now you can't see it because it's not in the workspace, and the workspace contains all visible objects. So it's in the starter pack now. Let's delete it, and whenever you're inserting a tool from the toolbox, it gives you an option. If you say yes, then it automatically puts it in the starter pack. If you say no, it puts it in the workspace. Just a little helpful thing. So, well, we don't need the toolbox right now. So let's click on that, exit out of it. Now let me show you something that's very, very important when you're using Roblox Studio. You go up here up top, insert object, and with that you can insert almost everything that you will ever need to make anything in the studio. Right here is pretty much anything you would really need. So let's start by inserting a part. So go insert object, and here's a panel that will come up, and choose part. Okay. Now this part, right before I talk about this, up here on the toolbar there's a little green play button. Now next to that is a pause and a reset. When you press the green button, it plays the game. It doesn't generate your character, it just simulates what will happen if the game started. So if I were to press the green button, it shows me what happens. So I click it, and the part falls through and gets deleted by the game. So whenever you're done testing with the run tool, make sure you always reset before you continue working. So now we're back to where we started, and we don't want this brick to fall down. Now if we select the brick, you can see in the properties panel it shows you the properties of that brick. Now one of the properties that controls whether it moves or not is called the anchored property. So if we check that and then we try to test it, the brick is no longer falling down. That means it's anchored. Now you can either do that by selecting it and going to properties. There's also an anchor tool up here that looks like this with this icon, and if you click on that and then you click on the brick, you can change anchored to true or false. So if you see that little red circle around the blue anchor, that means it's anchored. If I click again, now it's not anchored because you see that red circle is not there. So let's anchor it, and let's choose the resize tool up here. See this tool right here, the resize. Now let's resize this. Let's make a base plate. See here, base plate. Now the base plate is what we're going to be walking on, the main area for a character. So let's make sure it's anchored. Okay. Now when you're building, if you were to accidentally click on the base plate and move it to somewhere you didn't want to, that would be very annoying. That's why there's a lock tool. So you see up here, lock. You can click on the brick now, and then if you were to try and click on it with the resize or anything else, you cannot select it. The only way you can select it now is through the Explorer. So you see here, if we go down to the properties, and then you see the locked property is true. That means I cannot select it here. Anyhow, let's continue. So now we have our base plate. It's always good to name your parts in the workspace. It always helps to organize you. So let's name our part base. First of all, select the part in the Explorer. Go to the properties, go to the name, and change it to base plate. Now, it's always good to name your objects, especially when you're scripting, because it's very specific with the program. So now that we have our base plate, let's insert another part. Let's go insert object. Now let's go to spawn location, and now we have our spawn location. So the spawn location is pretty much where your character spawns when you start the game. So right here you can change the surface type, universal for surface, and let's what else do we need? Okay, let's anchor the spawn point, and let's see what would happen if we were to run the game. And nothing happens because our character is not loaded. If you want to test the game more in depth with your character, there's an option it allows you. It's called you go up to where it says Tools, then go down to Test, and then Play Solo. And then soon, a new window will open which will let you test the entire game with your character. See here, it's opening for me. Okay. Again, don't worry if this panel down here doesn't show up for you. I'll talk about it later, but don't worry if you don't see it. Anyway, so now I can walk around, test the map, and see how it works. So let's exit out of this, file exit, if you're in full screen. Now, what else? Let's, let me think. Let's see. Well, I don't have much time left for this video, so I'll be extending it to make it 2 videos long. In the next video, I'll teach you how to build a house in Roblox Studio and how to make a very simple game, how to upload models that other people can take and use, or private models that only you can see and use. And then I'll also teach you how to publish to your place, update your place, so that you can then test it and play it there. In the next video, I'll probably go very briefly into scripting too, and which is probably the most useful thing in the entire game. It lets you program whatever you want. And please show some support, like the video, subscribe maybe, just show me that you want to see more of these tutorials, and hopefully in the future I'll be teaching you how to make some pretty cool stuff. Alright, thank you for watching.